Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose. When you breathe in through the nose, you lift the perineum up very, very, very slightly. And when you breathe out, you just let go of it. You don't deliberately control it, just let go of it. So you're breathing in and you're lifting the perineum. And breathing out, you let go. Now, we've had this in the past before. It's when you do, just keep going. Lift on the in-breath and relax on the out-breath. When you lift on the in-breath, you actually only lift the inner wall of the abdomen, the underneath part of your abdomen, the undercarriage. So your abdominal wall there, it's really thick. You know, it's quite wide. So what you're trying to do is not lift the bottom part of you, you're only lifting the inner wall. So in other words, were you to put a hand on your pelvic floor there, on your perineum, you wouldn't feel anything going on. When you breathed in and you lifted the perineum up, you're lifting the inner wall, not anything that you're going to feel here. You just wouldn't, nothing moves. So it's that gentle, you know, it's got to be so soft. So you're kind of teasing the inner side of the perineum there, just that muscular section on the top. So this takes a bit of practice because it's very tempting to overdo this. So 1.5 inch, tummy button, finger on please, 1.5 inch below, okay, get rid of the tummy button one. This is your horizontal line, goes to the back to your spine, and we do the same here. And you, again, the abdominal wall's very thick there, and you just pull the inside wall in as you breathe in, and then you release it. So if you're still touching your Qi Hai acupuncture point here, you shouldn't feel movement at all. Well, you might feel a very, very tiny bit, but most of the activity is internally. So what this is all about is about if you really pull up very hard on the perineum and you pull Qi Hai in effect, you're tensing a load of muscles. You're tensing the whole abdominal area is what goes on really. When you only do the inner wall, it brings your focus to that point, encourages the generation of energy. And what we need to do is do that so that energy is generated and travels up to our center, which is directly ahead of you, where your Qi Hai acupuncture point is, straight in. Yeah. So this position is very important to pull in there, not on the tummy button. Now, we're going to actually try pulling in the tummy button. This is not good, and you don't want to make a habit of this. Okay, so if you like, you can leave the perineum bit out of it. So as you breathe in, pull your tummy button in, and then breathe out. Now, I don't know if you can feel, but it tends to affect more around the ribs here. Try again. So you just pull in, tummy button. So my finger's now on my tummy button. That's the bit I'm pulling in. I'm going to pull it in quite hard so I can feel what's going on. Okay, so this constricts the heart a little bit. You can feel what's going on in the lungs. The heart tends to get a little bit gripped. So go to 1.5 inches below. Yeah, 1.5 inches below. And by all means, do it hard for a second. So you can scratch here, just so so it helps you find that place to actually, so you can scratch, you know, use your fingers. But you'll find that it doesn't have the same effect up on the heart here. So the tummy button is actually the top of the Dantian. The Qi Hai acupuncture point, we're talking internally, on a line going through to our backs. This is the middle. Now, if you go 1.5 inches, so tummy button first, please. 1.5 inches below, Qi Hai. 1.5 inches below that, Gua Yuan it's called, Guan Yuan. Try pulling that one in now. Get rid of the other ones and just this one. So it's pretty much at the top of your pubic bone, isn't it? That area. So if you now breathe in and you really pull that one in, and then if you can feel your diaphragm will tighten. Yeah. So you pull low down here. You really try and pull that in. okay, and release it. We don't want to make a habit of that. So tummy button, Guan Yuan down here, and then in the middle, Qi high, 1.5 inches below. Try pulling that in fairly firmly. It has a different effect on what happens in the body. Both of the other two trap energy somewhere in the body. This one helps actually store energy. Basically, you're pushing into the middle of the ball. So if I've got my tennis ball here, so here's my center right in the middle of me. So if I put my finger on the top and I try and push at the top of the tennis ball, it creates an upward reaction. If I push in the middle, it's different. If I push at the bottom, it creates a lower down reaction, which actually happens to will affect the diaphragm. But here in the middle, we'll merely be compressing the tennis ball. And if you think about it in terms of compressing a ball, you know, if you push it, or pushing a ball, should we say, if you push it, what happens? The bottom bit starts to rotate. You push the bottom and the top bit starts to rotate. You push the middle and at the same time something else on the other side is pushing the middle, you're compressing. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to compress the center, the core of our Dantian, and that way we get a reaction within the body.